Hello, myself Sunil Ramakrishna. Here, basically, we are discussing about what topic that is uh, question that is basically the currencies dependency. In currencies dependency, we are talking about one topic that is the ideas and global warming. In this, basically, we are discussing about one topic that is the solution of the global warming. So, in this, basically, one of the person told basically how basically the cricket is connected here. Basically, then he told that basically cricket basically is connected means you want to say means what? How basically cricket is designed basically. Then one of the person told that basically how cricket is basically running that basically I can say, but design basically then also I will explain basically. Then one of the person explained there are 12 players in the cricket, 13 player in the other side. Then basically one player is bowling, one player is batting. The advertising screen is there basically. The person do the bowling according to the advertising screen. For him, also the advertising screens are there, and the batsmen also do the batting according to the advertising screen. Both side the advertising screens are there basically, bowling side and batting side basically. Then one of the person asked, so each and every players basically have the advertising screen. This was actually the dangerous question basically, that might be the future generation of the cricket basically. That one of the person told that basically each and every person basically how they can have the advertising screen basically, because this, up to this level the cricket has not designed basically. Then he was told basically yes, here you might be correct basically. So one is bowler and one is batsman basically. So both basically runs according, both basically plays according to the advertising screen. This advertising comes, so you have to do this type of bowling, and batsman is going to hit six. Do this type of bowling, batsman is going to hit four. Do this type of bowling, batsman is going to out. Do that type of batting, so that you can hit the two run. Like this, basically screens are basically designed, advertising screen, and this basically everything is designed. Then how basically cricket is planned, the project plan, everything basically we have already discussed. So one of the person told that basically cricket is the most dangerous basically dangerous sports basically. There basically the suicide bomber are always are there basically. Suicide bomber means who basically press the particular trigger basically, and according to that the bomb blast happens basically. That basically is the most dangerous design of the cricket basically. In each and every stadium basically minimum basically 2 to 3 suicide bomber basically are there basically, minimum basically. So maximum basically how many might be basically 20, 30, 40 basically. Why basically they have kept that basically is the question basically. And this basically police group basically might be knowing or not knowing basically, that basically also is the question basically, because the cricketer basically a player basically will be in trouble basically, that's why. So might be possible basically that, but this is the basically design. And this also basically I have basically read somewhere basically that cricket basically industry basically is the most dangerous industry, that's basically connected with the lots of dangerous stuff basically. That's why basically the this type of things basically are kept, because nobody know basically, nobody don't know that basically from where the advertising screen is getting handled. So it might possible that somebody might be doing the hacking from the stadium basically of that advertising screen basically, so that basically the data basically from where it is coming basically it can be tracked, and that data is a future plan basically. So future plan basically nobody is supposed to know basically, that's why basically the suicide bomber basically are kept there basically. So it's very dangerous basically, not dangerous but very very dangerous basically. So like this basically one of the person told that in the World Cup basically the in Ahmedabad basically which was happened basically, there also suicide bomber basically might be there. Then basically one of the person told that might be there basically, because that was the World Cup final basically. So there also suicide bomber basically might be there basically, because it's the most sensitive basically sports basically in this world basically. I have taken one example of the 12 lakh dollar, 12 lakh crore dollar basically, right? How money gets rotates from banks to banks, stock exchange, finance to finance department. Like this, basically, cricket money gets rotates and then basically it's kept into the Bombay Stock Exchange. Sorry, not Bombay Stock Exchange. It kept into the certain level of stock exchange. Basically. That basically nobody knows basically that in which stock exchange the black money of the cricket basically are kept basically in the form of the mutual funds basically. Just see basically how the black money has totally converted into the mutual funds also basically, and that are the basically the future creations also basically. Also people says basically that the reason World Bank basically has approved the investment type basically in type of the investment, the sports are also basically taken into the picture. That's why basically things basically are like this basically. So like this basically cricket stadium contains suicide bombers also, and they basically they but suicide bomber basically never has activated yet basically, has basically never had activated, because this type of thing basically has never the dangerous things basically has never happened with the hijacking of the advertising screen. This type of future data basically need to get, because to plan future data basically lots of activities are done basically, that basically can't be changed basically. That's why basically if anybody is doing the hacking, this is the only reason basically, mostly basically. And what actually cricket is, that basically we have already discussed basically. So mostly this is the only reason basically. That's why basically just imagine basically up to what level the computer basically might be, up to what level high security computer basically might be, so secure computer basically, so that basically nobody is supposed to hijack the future data basically. That are the data means future creation basically, that is, so that basically nobody is supposed to hijack that basically. If anybody tracks basically, then basically it's very dangerous thing basically. So like this basically the cricket stadium basically are kept, and this basically mostly cricketer basically who are playing in the ground basically, they know basically that we are basically playing the most day. It might possible that this match would be our last match. Like this basically they jump into the cricket match basically. Like this basically they jump into the cricket stadium basically. Reason because they know na basically what they are basically playing, up to what level the cricket match is, that sort of thing. So it's like that basically. So like this basically lots of people says that basically the cricket stadium is basically designed like this also basically. Then one of the person told that basically how basically more basically cricket is designed basically, cricket stadium is designed basically, because this everything is connected to the city creation, and investment basically money basically are also collected by the cricket group also basically, and city creation basically happens on the base of certain level of investment only basically, and cricketer basically are doing the plan according to their basically flexibility, and their basically they're understandable. If six is basically hitting, then this creation, four is basically hitting this creation, two run is hitting this, if clean bowled is happening, then this creation. Like this basically they basically know that for 2 run what is the things is created, for 4 run what is the things created, for the 6 run basically what is the things created, for 1 run basically what is the things created. Like this basically the cricket industry basically know basically, and this is also basically directly connected to the temperature of each and every glacier basically. So one of the person told that basically do basically have the temperature of the glacier of the cricket basically, that is sports basically. Then one of the person told that basically sports group have already designed lots of cities basically, so they basically also might be having the glacier basically inside the sea basically. So assume that that glacier basically is having the size of 3 kilometers. So that 3 kilometers temperature basically they have to check periodically basically. That basically the nuclear power company do that, and the BCCI group basically takes the action according to the temperature which is generated. In next video we are going to see a little bit more about this.